Hello everyone, welcome to Adhas Pro Training and Consulting. Today we will discuss on end-to-end configuration of contract management in SAP MM S4 HANA system. Before getting into the system, let's talk about the contract. So why we make the contract? So if you want to buy something, or the organization who are running their business, they want to buy some material, some product and services for their business to run their business from the suppliers. So who are the suppliers? The vendors who supply the materials. Now, when the organization wants to buy something from the supplier, they should know what is the product or the services which they are buying from the services. What is the cost of that material or the product or service per month or per day or per year? It depends. And what will be the duration of that contract? What will be the mode of the transportation? Okay, if during transportation any damage will happen, who will be responsible for that? So there can be multiple terms and conditions which can be written in that particular document, and contract is a legal document, and to complete this legal document, both the buyer and the seller have to agree on this. They will put the proper signature on the document, and then finally that contract will be made. Okay, so there are two types of contract we have in SAP. One is quantity contract and the value contract. So quantity contract is based on the procurement type. Suppose the buyer wants to buy material from the suppliers per month or per day or per year. Now, how much quantity they are going to buy? Based on that, the contract will be made between buyer and the supplier or the vendor. So it is depend how they are going to agree on it. And again, there is a different contract type that is called value contract type. So this value contract type is depend on the total cost of the material, total value of the material. What is the total value of the material they are purchasing per month or per year. Based on that, they will make that contract. Okay, so we will also see how can we create the contract manually. How can we create the contract with reference to purchase requisition? And we have also the option to create the contract with reference to request for quotation. Okay, so let's get into the system directly, and I will show you first the configuration part. How can we configure the points which is required for the contract management, and then I will show you how can we create the contract. Okay, so as we know, whenever we are going to start any configuration, it is starting with SPRO. So go to SPRO, then SAP reference IMG, then go to materials management, and then go to purchasing. So either you can use this transaction code, or either you can use all this configuration path to reach to the purchasing view, or you can use directly a T code, which we use is OLME. So if you will enter OLME, directly you will reach out to this path. So it is depend what path you are following. So you should know both the configuration path as well as the T code. Now, once you have reached here, now what are you going to make? You are going to make the contract. So here you will have the option of contract. So just expand it. And first, define the number range of purchasing document, then define document type of the contract. And here we have the define screen layout at the document label. So these three options which we have. So first, define the number range for the purchasing document. So click on here and just click on these intervals. So you can see these are the existing numbers, these are whatever are available in the system, because these are the number ranges which are already created before. We have also discussed about the internal number range and external number range, right? So if you'll flag any number range, that will be considered as your external number range. But if you are not, if you'll not flag anything, just you'll keep it blank, then this will be your internal number range. Okay, so these are the number ranges which are already available in the system. So if you want to create a new number range, you have to click on this insert line tab. And here you have to enter the reference number range, and it should be 2-digit only. For example, I'm just giving JT. Okay, and the number range I'm using as 78 series. So just copy and then paste it. And just for practice purpose, you can use just 10, 20 numbers or 30 maximum. But in the real time, it will depend what is the number range you are going to file, and based on that, you are going to make the contract. Okay. Now, press enter and click on save. And just remember whatever the reference code you had given. So I had given ZT. So I'll enter ZT here. So this is the number range I have taken, and this is my reference number for the number range created. Now, go back and now click on define document type of the contract. So click on here. So just now we have discussed about the quantity contract and the value contract. Now it is depend what type of contract you are going to make with the supplier. So WK is the document type for value contract, and MK is the document type for the quantity contract. So till now we have discussed about different document type. Like we have discussed the document type for purchase requisition, which is NB. That is the standard document type. So you need to remember all the standard document types. So for purchase requisition, it is NB. For the quotation, for RFQ, request for quotation, it was AN. And for the purchase order, we have seen NB. So purchase order and the purchase requisition document type is same. Now, let's try to create a contract, and we will create a quantity contract. So if you want to create a quantity contract, what you need to do. So this is the standard one. So if you want to customize it and if you want to create your own contract, then just select it, click on copy, and then just change it to ZMK. And quantity contract, I'm making for, I'm writing for my reference. Okay. And this is the interval 10, because this is the first line. We have discussed multiple times about it. And here we have the option number range internal and number range external assignment. So just now we have created a number range. So I had created the number range, but that was not external, that was internal, right? So if you will create any external number range, you will be able to see those number ranges. This. So here in this drop down, you will be able to see. But we have created the number range here. So that was the internal number range. So it should be here in this list. So now if you'll go down, you will see ZT. So this is what the number range I had created. So I have not created any external number range, so I'm not using that. It is depend. If you want to use, you can use. Otherwise, you use that. The next is field selection key. So field selection key is MKK. This is the standard field selection key for contract management. So remember this. Now, so here, if you want to customize it, if this field selection key, you can do that too. Okay, so I will show you how can you do that after this. That is our next step. Now, so once you have changed your document type, you have changed the description based on your requirement, based on your understanding, then you have assigned the number range to this document type. Now press enter. Now, the moment you clicked on enter or the press enter, system is now asking for copy all, because now we are copying from MK. MK is the standard document type. So now all the data, whatever it is available in MK, will get copied to ZMK. So click on copy all. Now you can see number of dependent entries copied. So 69 entries copied from MK to ZMK, which is required for the contract. Now click on continue. So you can see number of copied entries is 1. And then now click on save. So always you need to check whenever you are trying to save any configuration or any document, you check what is your transport request number. It is very much important. So we have discussed about the transport request number. But in case if you have any doubt, you can text me in the comment box. Now, once it is done, click on continue. So now you have created a contract. So this is what the quantity contract you have created. In the same way, if you want to create a value contract, again, what you need to do, you have to select WK, then click on copy and customize it based on your requirement. So I'm just created for MK, so I'm not creating for value. Okay. Now, once it is done, now go back. And so we have defined the number range here, and we have created the new document type and assigned the number range to the document type. So these are the 2 steps as part of the configuration which we have completed now. Once it is done, next is define screen layout at document level. So in the previous session also, we have discussed about the screen layout. What is the use of screen layout? What is the meaning of screen layout? Why it is important? Okay, so just execute it. And here this is your FSEL dot means field selection key. So just now we have seen the field selection key for contract was MKK, right? MKK for quantity contract. So just select it and then click on details tab. So once you will click on details, here you will be able to see all the fields, whatever it will be available while creating the contract. Now, which field should be created manually, which field should be mandatory. So that can be controlled from this field selection key. So if you click on basic data and item, here you can see these are the fields which will be available while creating the contract. And what are the required fields? Required means if you want to make plant as mandatory field, just flag it and remove it from optional. But if you want to keep it as optional, keep it optional, remove it from the required. And if you want to make any field as in the display mode, which you don't allow to your user to fill that field, then you can select display also. So based on your requirements, you can select your fields, based, whether that will be a required entry or the optional entry or the display. So it is very much important to understand. Okay. Now, in the same way, you can check all the fields. If you click on quantity and price, you can see what is mandatory. So what is the target quantity? What is the unit of measurement? What is the price per unit? So these are the required entry field. While without filling all these fields, system will not allow you to complete the contract. Okay. So that is how you need to check each and every field, and you have to understand that. Fine. So this is the part of configuration from the contract point of view. That's it. No need to do any other configuration. Now, once the contract is made, configuration is done. Now let's create a contract. So to create a contract, go to the SAP Easy Access path. If you know the transaction code, it is ME31K. You can use this transaction code, or if you want to, now let me show you. You'll enter ME31K, press enter. You can see the initial screen of the contract, create contract. Now, if you don't want to use, if you want to check from where you can get the transaction code, then you have this path. So this is called SAP Easy Access path. Click on logistics, then materials management, then purchasing, and here you will be getting outline agreement. And here, click on contract, and you can see the transaction code. So both the way you can see the transaction code. So either you type the contract transaction code here, or directly you click on here. It's the same thing. Now, when you are creating a contract, now see here the options: reference to purchase requisition, reference to RFQ. So in my previous videos, I shown you how to create the RFQ manually. So, but today I will show you how can you create the contract with reference to purchase requisition. You can try all the way. Okay. Now, so before creating a contract, because I want to show you how can you create the contract with reference to purchase requisition. So what I will do first, I will create a purchase requisition for you. So what is the transaction code we are using to create a purchase requisition? It is ME51N. So enter ME51N. Okay, then select a document type if you have created. If you want to write any note to the buyer as an user, because user is creating the purchase requisition, whoever required the material, then you can write the text here. And then now select the material, what material is needed. Based on that, the contract will be made. So just I'm entering my plant and I'm going for this material. And check your plant and how much quantity you need. Okay, and then click on save. So I've just created a purchase requisition, and this is my purchase requisition number. So now I will create the contract with reference to purchase requisition. So now see what is the difference if you are creating manually and if you are creating with reference to any document. Okay, now open a new window, click on here. Now enter ME31K. And now, so before getting into purchase requisition, first you enter the supplier. You can search the supplier based on your purchase organization as well. MRP0 is my purchase org, and I want to select this vendor, for example. Yeah. And here now you have to select your agreement type. What type of agreement you are making, whether it is quantity contract or value contract. So click on here. And just now we have customized it and we have created this contract. So I have selected this agreement type contract. And what is the purchase organization? And what is the purchasing group? So this is what you need to maintain here. Now, once it is done, now click on reference to PR. Because now you are going to create the contract with reference to purchase requisition. And then click on continue. So if you will not enter the purchase requisition, if you want to create it manually, then just press enter, and inside you will be getting an option to maintain the line item for which line item you're making the contract. So now click on continue. Now see what it is saying. No selectable item exists for purchase requisition 1190. So this is what it is showing. So now let me check the purchase requisition. Right, so this was the purchase requisition number. So it is, let's see whether it is allowing or not. If it is not allowing, we can create with reference. We can create manually also. So I have entered purchasing group. Continue. No selectable item exists. Okay. So there are some issue with the purchase requisition, or that can be anything. So we will look into this later. But let's try to create manually. How can you create it? So we have both the options. We can create purchase with reference to purchase requisition and with reference to quotation as well. Okay. So just enter your sub. So I have maintained all these details. Who is my supplier? What is the agreement type? What is the agreement date? And the purchase organization and purchasing group. And then just press enter. So once you press enter, here you will be getting the option of validity end date. So this is a validity start date. So today you are going to start your contract, and what will be the duration of the contract? It is 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 4 year, whatever it is. Then press enter. Now see, if you are creating the contract with reference to purchase requisition, only the difference is here that line item, whatever we had maintained in the purchase requisition, will pick automatically here. Okay. If you're creating manually, you have to enter manually. That is only the difference. So now the line item, and suppose I want to make the contract for this material. Now what will be the cost of it? That material cost you need to maintain. And this is the material group. This is the plant. And what is the target quantity? So target quantity is your final contract. So how much quantity of the contract you are going to agree with the supplier now? So you are saying I need 1,000 pieces, 50 rupees each for this particular plant, and the duration which you have made now. Enter. So like that, you can add multiple line items. So if you want to make the contract for other line items, you can choose other line item and you can make your contract, whatever you want to make. And suppose it is 5,000. And for this, it is the cost is 60 rupees something. So that is how you can create the contract with multiple line items from the same supplier. Maybe this supplier is supplying multiple materials. So like this, you can create your contract. And then click on save. Once you have clicked on save, now you can see this is the number range which we had defined. And based on that, the contract numbers are creating, because this is the number range which was assigned to the document type. Okay. So this is your end-to-end configuration part, how we can configure the contract part, and how we can create the contract. Now, once you have created the contract, how you will use this contract in the purchase order, and how can you check what is your outstanding amount, or sorry, what is your outstanding quantity of the contract for the procurement. So we'll see both the things here. Okay. Now, so this is my contract. Now I will go and because remember, if you have made the contract, you need to create the purchase order always. Okay. Now go and create a purchase order. Go to ME21 and transaction code. And because you have maintained suppliers, quantity, everything, now you will understand the difference between the target quantity and the PO quantity here. So let me just go to so as I mentioned earlier, we have three different screens: header, item overview, and item details. So now click on item overview, click on here, press tab and go to the right side. There will be the option of outline agreement. Can you see this outline agreement? And just you enter your agreement number and press enter. Okay. Now you have to understand this. Now the supplier field is picking automatically from the contract. Now in the header tab, your MR, these are the details which was there. So it is also picking automatically. Now, when you are creating it manually, with reference to contract. Now, what is the message we have seen? So here it is saying, please enter material number or account assignment category. This is the one error it is showing. Another error it is showing, when referencing a contract, please also enter a contract item number. Because when we created the contract, in my contract, there was 2 line item. Right? So now for which line item you are making the contract? That is what it is asking for. Now, if I'll go to the change mode of the contract, ME32K, and if I'll enter that contract number, I'll see my 2 line item, right? This is 1 line item. This is another line item from this supplier. When you are creating the contract with reference, when you are creating a purchase order with reference to contract, you need to mention for which line item you are creating this order. Otherwise, in purchase order, system will not understand that. So now suppose I want to create this purchase order for the first line item. So what I will do, just beside this outline agreement contract, the document number, here you have the option of item. So just enter 10 because I want to buy for the first line item. Okay. Now it is saying user is already processing that contract. So just come out from that screen. You can see this error if you are having two screen open in the same browser. Now press enter. Now you can see I am able to see the quantity now. I am able to see the material now because I have mentioned the line item. And here now you have to enter the quantity because in the contract you have made the target quantity. So that target quantity was 1000 and that was a duration for 1 year or the 6 months, whatever it was there. Currently, how much quantity you want to buy? You enter that quantity. And when do you want it to deliver? Enter the delivered date. Then press enter. So this is how you are going to create your purchase order with reference to contract. Okay. So this is the purchase order which you have created with reference to the contract and the line item number which you have mentioned. And then click on save. So you can see this is a purchase order created. So now you have created a contract. You have created a purchase order with reference to a contract. Now in the same way, now today you have placed the order for next month. Maybe after 1 month, again you want to create a purchase order. So what you will do, same activity. You will get into the same screen or you will enter ME21N and then just go scroll right. And then first you enter your contract number and then the line item, whether it is your first line item or second line item. So just enter the contract number. So I want to buy for the first line item. Enter. Price is picking automatically. And then how much quantity you want to buy this time? I want to order for 200. Then enter and save. Now in the same way, you can create multiple purchase orders within that particular duration. So let me create one more purchase order with reference to contract. Then I will show you where can you see the detail about the contract, whatever the purchase order and all you have created. Okay. Now again, you have to enter the quantity. 200 in have. And see, now in the same way, you have created multiple purchase order with reference to the contract. Now, suppose you want to check how much order I have given so far, because I don't remember, because every month I'm placing some order. So I forgot last month how much quantity I had ordered. So if you know the purchase order number, you can check that. You can go to the purchase order and you can check. But if you want to know the history of that, then what you need to do, you have to go to the change mode of the contract, go to ME32K, then enter your contract number, then select the line item for which line item you want to check, and then click on item, then click on statistics tab, and then click on release documentation. And now from here, so this is a list of the purchase order, whatever it is created, which date it is created, and what was the quantity you have created so far, what was the value of that. And here you can see quantity released to date. So till date, this is the quantity it is released. Target quantity was 1000. So 1000 pieces, 1000 each, you have made the contract. And open target quantity is 500. So out of 1000, this 500 quantity of the order has been released, and open target quantity is 500. So 500 is still pending. So that is how you can check the contract details as well. So that is what I wanted to discuss today. Hope it is helpful for everyone. If you have any doubt, any concern, please comment. We will get back to you on that. Thank you, everyone.